Good morning, all. How's it going? Friday morning, 8:30 Central, it's 9:30 Eastern. Market opens here in 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. Let's get this party started. And let's see if we can continue on making some money after the past 2 weeks. It's been a fantastic past 2 weeks. This week has been the week of small gains. Last week is the week of big gains. Let's see if we can finish off with something positive. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing good. I know I'm ready to kick off the weekend, man. I've been busy. I had a crazy morning. I've been up since 05, creating content, updating budgets, all that kind of stuff. So trying to pass along a product to you all. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. I'm going to start opening up the options chain here and see what kind of watch list I can develop. SPY is currently right up to 426 because the PCE data came out as expected, which obviously the market is taken as bullish. So we'll see how the day plays out. Options chain right now, I'm looking at, let's see here. I'll do June 30th. Let's take a look at the deltas right now. June deltas right now, low deltas today. Yeah, low deltas, implied volatility. Where's implied volatility at? Right down here at 7%. A little bit higher than yesterday, not much, but it's still very low regardless. I'm going to look at 428. That puts me right at 0.3 deltas. I don't want to go to 427. A little too close. I'd like to go a little bit further. So I'm going to go with the 428 calls, and I'm going to go with 423 puts. 28 calls, 23 puts. Let me put this in the room. Watch list. June 30th. 428 calls. June 30th. 423 puts. Bam, done. All right, gap up here from the, what is that? Came down here the 425.15 level after this nice little up and down chop yesterday. It was fun to play that. It was fun to play that. We're able to squeeze out three wins yesterday. I think two 2%ers and one 8%. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's all right, Zach. It takes some time. Take some time. What's up, BHE? Heading to Lowe's. I love going to Lowe's. Wake up, have me a coffee, head out to Lowe's. Good stuff. Worked out. Good stuff. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'm getting the SPX one as well. Good call. Good call. All right, let's try to find that one. SPX currently 42.75. Delta's here. I'm going to do 42.90 calls, and I'm going to do 42.60. 42.90, 42.60. I'm going to post that as well. SPX is going to be June 30. 42.90 calls. June 30. 42.60 puts. And I'll develop a QQQ here as well. SPY coming out here 5 minutes. I'm not going to be live streaming all the way till 12 Eastern today. I've got a doctor's appointment here earlier on, late morning. So I'll be hopping off here about 9:30, 9:45, but we'll get a good hour and a half in of doing some live streaming here. So that's why I got up so early, man. I had a lot to do. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully we don't have a low volume day today. I'm looking forward to a little volatility, make a little money today. Make a little money. They are really low, Bryson. They are. Implied volatility. Fun little fact for you. If you look throughout the annals of history, look at the charts, there's a little fact that not many people know about. It's kind of hard to find. It's not really obvious, but it is a fact regardless. And that fact is every single time that the S&P is reaching all-time highs, when the majority of the stocks inside the fund are below the 50 MA, we face a correction. And guess where we at now? The vast majority of stocks in the SPY ETF are below their 50 MA on their 1-year chart. What's the 50 MA, you may ask? All right, let's switch over the 1-year chart, and I'll show it to you on here. Where is my 50 EMA? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? All right, so that is dropped off. Let me add it on here. Moving average. Click here. Let's go. I like to do mine red. My simple moving average in red. All right, there's a 50 moving average. It's a nice slow moving average that you look on longer time frames on the 1-year chart. If you look up all of the stocks in the SPY on their individual charts, more than half of them are below this 50 line, which a lot of high-level traders do not buy a stock that's below the 50 because that's a very bearish signal. They wait for it breaks above the 50 to take a position. So like we broke down here below the 50, wouldn't buy it here until it crossed to the 50, which is right here. So if you look at the stocks, most of them are below that line right now. What does that tell us? We're a little extended because the value of the ETF is not supported by these all-time highs. And that's what it's telling me. All right. So I'm on the 1 minute. Let's go to the 3 minute here. Here's the chart. Little sell here, 425.61 on the SPY. What up, Henny? How's it going? Toon PZ, how's it going, man? Or female? I don't know. Either one. Welcome. No one to be no one. How's it going? All right, so a little shaking and baking. Topped out at 426.10. Obviously, new all-time highs. 424.25.55 is dropping, coming down about 50 cents. Let's look around the market. XLF is up and down here. Red, green, red, green. XLK got a little red there, not much. VIX, big green on the VIX there after dropping down at 1585. Cool. What's up, weekend playa? Where do you think SPY is going today? Hard to say. Hard to say. All depends on the volume. All depends on the volume. All right, so looking here, I want to switch to the 5 minutes, see how things are rolling. I'm going to put on the Squeeze Momo. There it is. Squeeze Momo is cooling on the 5 minute chart. What are the Qs doing today? Qs are kind of trading sideways here. If I had to guess, we'll probably be a chop day today. We'll see. We'll see. Things are starting to get a little crazy here because we've dropped below the 50 MA. Immediately, we're bought back up, and now we're at all-time highs on low volume. As I just said, most of the stocks in the SPY ETF are below the 50 MA, so it's like we're unsupported. This is unsupported. We've got this 425 pre-market pivot here, more strong one here, but that 425.55 pivot, which will be a point of support here to bounce off this. Now the new ranges here, of course we're forming here, and I've hidden this range until we're set, just because I don't want to have the dots up there until we're set them. But yeah, so we're really just shaking and baking and forming. We don't know what the supports is above the resistance above the support here under it. We're going to look at that pivot of 425.55. Then of course under there is 424.86. And then I want to start looking out, zooming out time frames to kind of see where we have supported volume. right here. 424.90 looks like a good pivot point here in terms of the volume. It's 424.90. That'll be a good resistance support zone if we come down here based on the 1 month volume profile. And that's due to because yesterday we hung out there such a long time. So let's look at that 424.90. All right, so this thing's getting bought back up. You're right, Zach. You're right. What are the functions of the gray bars on the right? This is called the volume profile. I do have a video on my educational series. Take a look at it. So yeah, this shows volume at price, whereas this shows volume on time. So this is volume time frame. So I'm on the 1 minute chart. These are 1 minute candles. Here's a 3 minute chart, 3 minute candles, so on and so forth. This is the volume at the specific price. The yellow line is the point of control, and that shows you the highest distribution of volume on this particular time frame. So on this here 3 minute chart, you've got a large distribution of volume here at this 425.10 right here. So when I come down and I see this price come down, I'm going to expect the price to be manipulated at some way on this line. It shows you a very good support or resistance if you're above or below it here. So, all right, these red candles are immediately getting bought up. XLF sector, financial sector is bouncing off right here into the middle. QQQ getting wicked out here. Not much going on there. Tech is all a mixed bag at the moment. Tesla's up 1%. Netflix is up 2%. I think they got a bullish rating today, so I could expect why they're up 2% today. Amazon's down to 34.36 after the nice big red candles here. And there's SPY. All right. So the morning ranges so far are way up here. 426.10, 425.55. So we're currently hollowed out about a 65-cent range. A little tight. I'd like to get a little bit larger than that, but hey, it is what it is. So hanging out right here in the middle. I'm going to wait for the morning to shake out. I might consider selling some strangles too in the event that we hang out in this range here with this low volume stuff. So is there any way to know what the SPY is going to do after hours? Unfortunately not. I have no better idea than anybody else on what it's going to do after hours. If I did, I'd be options billionaire. Or trillionaire. Me too, Henny. Yesterday was a very choppy day. Able to squeeze out a little 8%er though. I'll take that. The volume is still on the decrease there. That's as expected. It always jumps off after the morning little rush there. Smack dab in the middle of the range. Can I give a 20-second rundown of what happened yesterday? Sure thing. So here we go. Yesterday was no volume. We peaked at all-time highs. No volume. Came back down. Came back up again. All this oscillating back and forth yesterday. Played the ranges beautifully. Always reversion to the mean. So I took a put here. I think it was, or over here. I don't remember. I have to look at the timestamp. I know I took three puts yesterday. I made money on all three. Yeah, so, and basically what I was looking for yesterday is the rejection off these all-time highs, which you did it 3 times on no volume. So every time the price spiked, I saw that there was no volume to support it. We'd hang out there for a little bit in the tank. And we did it here, and here was a quick rejection. And then we played up and down all day long. Played the ranges beautifully. And today, definitely this little gap up here. So yesterday was a choppy range day. Let's see how things roll. I would expect we have the same thing today. Based on, there was no, like the CPE today or the PCE today came out and it was as expected. So nothing crazy. I don't expect crazy volume up to bring us all-time highs. However, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for the last 30 minutes of the day. You know that SPY, it gets very volatile the last 30 minutes. So that's notwithstanding of the last 30 minutes of the day. All right, so we bounced off right at this bottom. Let's take a look here. It bounced off 425.55. But look, where is 425.55? On the money pivot. On the money pivot. Down to the cent is where it bounced off of. So I'll be looking closely. We rejected it 3 times yesterday. Now we're using it as support. There's obviously a lot of resistance at that point, a lot of price manipulation. So I'll be watching that very closely. Do you usually trade SPX in slower moving days? How do you choose when to trade SPY? I trade SPX all the time. For this OM character, I trade a lot of SPY publicly because that's what most people want. Most people want SPY because they can't afford to trade SPX, and you know I'm working on getting you there. That's fine. But I always trade SPX. It's just publicly. I'm trading SPY as well to show you all how to trade SPY. Tax benefits are just way too good on the SPX to pass up. Not to mention the absolute commissions. I mean, last week I was trading 100 lots, 250 lots of SPY, and I think I paid like $1,800 in commissions last week. Granted, I made 50 grand, but still $1,800 in commissions is a lot when I can be trading SPX. 425.95 current price here. Let's see how this thing rolls out. What are the tax benefits of SPX? 60% of SPX is considered long-term investments, whereas 100% of SPY is considered a short-term investment. Vastly different tax benefits there, or tax allocations when you do go to file your taxes. Not to mention, you know, if you've got $50,000 to invest, and if you get $50,000 of SPY, which is like 300 contracts, depending on the premium, or like 10 contracts or 20 contracts of SPX, depending on the premium, I mean, the commissions are going to be significantly less, just looking at the amount of contracts. Do I look at the options volume, or do I look at the stock or the actual ETF volume? I do, when I'm trading SPY, I don't pay attention to the volume because it's always liquid. It's always liquid. Okay, so yeah, ETF, absolutely, yeah, look at the volume. 100%, like my number one indicator is volume, and it's all relative. Volume is relative. Volume is relative. I don't pay attention to an actual figure necessarily. I mean, I do, but not a certain number. I look at relative volume. If the entire week is low, but yet Friday we have a little spike, I'll say that's a higher volume. So volatility is coming into the market. Whereas if we're having high volume, like if we're having a month where just volume is killing it on like extremely bullish days, then volume's all relative. So I do look at relative volume per day to day. It's my number one indicator. If If I see plugging away at all-time highs on no volume, then I turn to a bearish sentiment. Yeah, yeah. Trading SPX is exactly the same principles. Exactly the same. Nothing changes. When I post a watch list, since I started doing this, like 2 weeks ago, I started posting the equal SPY trade as SPX, so people can decide for themselves which one they want to trade. But yeah, same exact principles. Someone said the Qs are tanking. Oh, snap. Snap diggity dog. But guess what? XLF is still on the way to Mars. It's past Neptune now. It's heading to Pluto. VIX is tanking down here at 1545. Episode 4 of Making Millionaires in the Patreon channel. That was posted yesterday. Let me know what y'all think. Going on with a great series here. We're really getting to the swing of things. Me and Ian are starting to click on all cylinders here, firing all cylinders, doing real good stuff. So I'm enjoying it. Making the podcast and getting ideas out there. And we're going to continue to grow and expand our ideas and the content that on which we're going to be focusing on. I hope y'all enjoy the podcast. XLK and the Qs are both dipping right now. NASDAQ is trading flat at the moment. XLF is beasting out the top. All right, so XLF still doing its thing. SPY chugging along here. It seems to be hit a resistance point at 426. Can I get some shout outs? Asks, hey OM, for SPX, how do you buy at the bid, sell at the and sell at the ask? I only ever bid my contracts filled for SPX at the ask and sell at the bid. It all depends on movement. If you get a good entry, you have no problem selling at the ask and buying at the bid. It all depends on you're tightening up your entry, and there's no good way to answer that except for that. It's like I wait for when I see a price fluctuating. So let's look for this, for example. Let's look at yesterday, for example. I see the price popped, hung it out right here. I'm looking for puts, which is exactly what I did. I see the premiums. I think if I remember correctly, the premiums for the puts I was taking was fluctuating anywhere between like $8.20 and $7.70, if I remember, somewhere around there. So I'm looking for that range of the premium, jumping up and down. And of course, as theta starts beating you down, that premium is going to drop a few cents here and there. So at this point, I would probably look at the lower end of that. So now I'm looking for that 70-70 part as we get closer. And then, all right, well, I'm going to start targeting 70-70, 770, 770, maybe 780. And then if I start to see volume build, I'll plug in a 780, something that's just above that ask. Because I know when this thing drops, it's going to go to 830, 840, 850, maybe $9. And that's exactly what happened. So don't romanticize one particular entry. Like if you're trading SPY and going by cents, so premiums on cents, do you really want to miss out on a 15-20% gain because you didn't get your 1 cent fill? Like, that's the part you expand that thinking. Have you a target range instead of a target price? Instead of targeting, all right, I want to get right at that $1.46 premium. Think, all right, I want a premium that's between 143 and 148, 146, 147, like that. Give you a 4 cent range where you can release your emotions and say, all right, I'm buying anything in this range. But that all has to do with identifying your target entries and really tightening up your entries. Yeah, no problem. When you're a person contracts, do you ever buy the same day expiration, same week expiration, or do you buy them a few weeks out? Same day. I'm talking about zero DTEs. No, I never buy zero DTEs. Everything I buy is always within a 3 to 5 to 6 day DTE and a $2 to $3 strike. Yeah, I never buy zero DTEs. The problem is with zero DTEs, they're great, grand, and wonderful when you're right, but they suck when they're wrong. So yeah, you can set stops, but if it's too volatile, you'll blow right through them. And if you don't set a stop, you're gonna get smoked. So I never, the risk reward, everything, and anything in life, whether it be personal budgeting, if you're going to take out debt against doing whatever it is in your personal life, whether you're going to be investing, you have to account for risk. And that's what people never, ever do. They always account for the upside. They always account for what could go right, but they never account for risk. What happens when this does smack you in the face? And rest assured, it will smack you in the face. And that's what happens. Like if you're going to trade zero DTs, and if you want to do that, fine. But you have to keep your position sizes small. You may get a 300%er, but you're going to have a 100% loss if you continue to do that. What's your thought on buying calls at all-time highs? I have no problem with it as long as there's supported volume. A spike to all-time highs on no volume is called an unsupported move. Large changes in price with low changes in volume are unsupported moves, and they're easy to short. So I have, if like all through, what was that? All through March and April, I was buying calls all day long, and we were reaching all-time highs seemingly every day because there was volume to support the move. We went on a month-long rampage after dropping below the 50 MA, and we went pow, 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 like from March 25th until like April 20th. It was just bullish every single day. So it all has to be supported by volume. That's right, Johnny. That's right. In addition to protecting your profits, you want to protect your emotions. If you are going to spend a decade day trading zero DTEs, I promise you, you will burn out. Like you have to account for your emotional side of things. It's part of it. It's part of it. You will stress yourself out to the max. All right, anyway, we got 5 minutes till we form or 8 minutes till we form our ranges here. We're coming right back down. Nice, even rejections of ranges here. So let's see if this continues to play out. Big old red candle, Laughlin. That's right. All right, I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to make a trade here. Things are starting to hollow out the way things should. XLF is beasting. It looks like it's capping out. What's the VIX doing? VIX is forming a little bottom here at 1571, which are nearing yesterday's lows here, or yesterday's afternoon lows. No problem, Andy. That's exactly right. Can I get some shout outs? That's right. You always want to find a delta in price that matches your level of risk tolerance. That is definitely right. Some people are more risky than others. I've been doing this a long time, and it's funny. The longer I do this, the less riskier I get. Because I know through experience that every time I inject more risk into my strategy, the less money I make. But there is a certain point where you don't have enough risk. Risk is a good thing, but you need to manage that risk. Sometimes I make a risky play. Sometimes I do a 3DTE and I take a play that's not necessarily technically sound and it pays off because my experience tells me there's a decent chance I could be right here and make great money if I'm right. And it's not always technically 100% sound, but that's my experience speaking. And that's a level of risk that I'm willing to take sometimes. Unfortunately, now that I've got 6,000 people following my plays, sometimes it blows up in my face. But most of the time it works. Part of it. Watching the VIX here, that's big. Another red candle here on the VIX. QQQ is getting a bounce off of 349.26, which is right around their pivots. Right around their pivots. XLK doing the same. XLF is Honey Badger today, or the past 2 days, XLF is Honey Badger. All right, XLF appears to be at the top. Make it drop. QQQ, still red here. All right, let's see what the play is going to be. We're right in the middle of the range. I'm not going to buy in the middle of the range. I'm going to wait for something to shake out, but I'm close to wanting to take a position here. I see the volatility. Volume is coming down once again. We have more selling volume than buying volume. How do I go about determining pivot points? I use my pivot point indicator right here. Now, to my first support and resistance levels, I use the volume profile to determine where the volume is telling me where there's support and resistance. But the pivot points here, you see these white numbers here, those are my pivots. First 35 minutes from open till 10:05 Eastern. So currently 426.10, 425.55. That's a 65-cent range, nice and tight. Right smack dab. I never buy in the middle of the range here. At least I won't say never. Most of the time I don't buy in the middle of the range. What I want to look for is rejection off the top, rejection off the bottom, bounce, rejection off the top, come down, blast through for a trend, blast down for a trend. But I rarely want to take a position in the middle. Sometimes the situation will call for it. Sometimes. I'm not going to say never. Never is a very strong word in a dynamic, fluctuating market, a living and breathing thing. But most of the time, I don't want to take a trade right here in the middle of the range. All right. Unless this candle blows out the top in the next few seconds, that's going to be our ranges here. The 426.10, 425.55. What I'm going to do is draw some hard lines here. Bam. I'm going to make these yellow just to extend them out to see where we're going. And then I want to zoom out. Auto. Too much. All right, the green lines are the last week ranges, and that's way down here. You can kind of see. And we're way up at the top. Obviously, we're at all-time highs. We're above last week's range, so we pop through that. You can kind of see if we go to the 1 year. If you go to the 1 year, look, here's that red line's a 50 MA, blasted through it 1 day up, blasted through it on the second day, we pop back up here. 50 MA, pop through it. 50 MA, up it. So it's like every time we pop that 50 MA, we don't stay there. We immediately bounce. Here's a bigger one. We stay down here a few days on the 50. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we begin a recovery. in October. But, you know, that was a bad month. I remember that. October was sketchy. September was sketchy. So every time we pop that 50, we come down. We immediately get bought up. And here, no different. We spent 1 day below the 50 before immediately getting smacked up. So be aware of that in the future. That's the 1 year 50 MA chart. All right, right through the top of the range here at 906. Do these principles apply to just day trading or swing trading as well? I mean, I've always been a swing trader inherently. I've only the past 4 or 5 months done exclusive day trading because the market no longer, to me, became predictable on the day to day. And this is actually working very well. Obviously if this wasn't working, I would figure something else out. But this has been working pretty well. I've made very impressive profits the past 5 months, and that's why I'm sticking to it. Now, if we enter another April style bull trend where for the entire month we're just killing it and we're gapping up, 0.5% every day, every single day, I'll go back to holding overnight because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to miss out on gains. But we've not been in an upward trend since then. If you look in the month chart, since right around late April, we've been hovering in this 420 level. So this sideways chop. And here, I do not like holding crap overnight. Yeah, Harry, sure, you can hold puts and you can hold calls and make some money there. But from the overall, we've been in a sideways chop since late April. This nasty, nasty market. And that's what I want to avoid. Well, that's the thing. Can I get some shout outs? That's the thing. It's like with this system is that I've been able to grind out consistent profits. Like I haven't had the sketchiest part of my whole trading system has been the first 2 or 3 weeks I started this online OM character because like I got used to online trading and I let some emotions come in. I wanted to take trades to prove myself and show everybody that I could trade. And I took some stupid plays and I lost. But outside of that, once I kind of got the hang of, hey, I just need to actually trade my real system that freaking works. Like my system has been very well. And it's not necessarily a quote unquote system, it's just lack of a better word, but it's all about controlling your emotions and waiting for the setup based on volume. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. That's my goal. I wish they would teach this in college, but I guarantee if you read the book Volume Price Analysis, you would learn like 90% of what I know. I'm not a very quote unquote technical trader. I don't use 50 lines and charts and graphs and, trend data. It's just no volume. That's all you need to know. All right. So right up here, 426.14 XLF, still doing its thing. Big range here on the XLK and the Qs. Qs has what? They're at $1.50 range. That's a good range. I wish we had $1.50 range. VIX way down here. POC on the VIX 1543. Yep, that's right. Roic and a Coling. I guarantee you, if you read that book 3 or 4 times, I'm telling you, read the book, finish it, immediately flip to page 1, read it again, take notes on it. I promise you, it'll make you an infinitely better trader. Infinitely better trader. It breaks it down to where the elementary parts of the market, like this is not that, in terms of a technical standpoint, this is not that difficult. What makes this difficult is your emotions. It really is that simple. A complete guide to volume price analysis. There you go. Bam. I think it's like what, $23, $24 on Amazon right now. I do not, obviously, I don't make money off of that, but yeah, it's fantastic. So it breaks it down into very basic, very elementary key components. You don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need all these lines. You don't need stupid, crazy, colorful graphs. Like, you don't. You just need to know where the volume is, and then some experience. There you go. $21. Best $21 you've ever have. All right, so the VIX is currently at 1561 pivot. That's the lows from yesterday. Interesting to see where that thing goes. I may actually take a put position here. Q is way down. XLK is way down. XLF is just doing its freaking thing, man. Doing its thing. Looks like Windows is about to unveil Windows 11. Yeah, I would. I would for sure. No problem, Happy Fab. Thanks for being here. I'm glad to help. I'm glad to help everybody and teach a little something, something. 426.06 here. My gut instinct is puts. It has been the past 2 days because we are in this low volume, all time high crap. So we'll see. We'll see. VIX below the pivot. Below the pivot. That's the one key determinant I need to be aware of here. So 1542 is the POC. Qs are way down, way down. Tech has rolled. XLF is still beast, and that's what's supporting SPY here. I want to take puts here. I want to take puts. We're extremely extended. So let's see what we can figure out. Low volume stuff here. Low volume stuff. Right now, the volume is nearing the lowest of the day. All right, SPY is beasting right now, making things happen. VIX still on the free fall. Right now, the implied volatility for these options I'm looking at are like 7%, which is incredibly low. Yesterday, like 6%. So, or 26.26, right up here, right at top of the range. Let's see if we reject this range and come back down. Are we facing another trend day? Unexpected trend day. Super low volume, though. Super low volume. XLF got a little red form in there. Q's got a little bounce on the uptrend here. Oh, this is a 1 minute. I'm going to go to the 3-minute chart here I've been looking at. Big bounce on the XLK. VIX still on the downside. Still on the downside. All black crosses here on the squeeze Momo in the 3-minute chart. Bright green candle, though. I wouldn't say strictly, Andy, but I would say vast majority of the time I wait until after the morning range is formed. Yes, that gives me a better idea of how the price is fluctuating. Well, it's all relative. It's all relative. XLF there. So XLF was boosted SPY was boosted by the XLF, and now that's hollowing out. It's being boosted by this Q's here, just absolutely coming up here. XLK is up as well. VIX still on the free fall. No, there's no consolidation of the VIX here. Interesting. Interesting. I'm just waiting to see how the markets react here. XLF is starting to dip a touch. We're above the range. We're currently sitting at 426.30. And the volume is just puttering out here. You can kind of see on this trend here, it's just downward. So we'll see what happens. June 30th, 4260 SPX puts are currently trading at 1040 on the ask. I'm going to do a smaller position size on my first play just because, I'm curious how things are going to roll. I don't have full confidence. So, and because I have full confidence, I reflect that in my position size. We in calls yet? No, absolutely not. I'm looking at taking puts. That's right, Andy. That's right. XLF is dipping. VIX right here. Q's there. I'm just monitoring things. Just monitoring. Keep an eye out on any movements. Me too, Ezekiel. 6%. Nicely done. Nicely done. Do you think we'll fill that gap today? Hard to say. I wouldn't say that. I do not think we'll fill that, but you never know what the last 30 minutes brings. SPY just doesn't want to dip. Qs and XLK are down weak. XLF is finally getting some red, and SPY just doesn't want to follow suit. Well up here, the VIX is getting a little bitty bounce here. It looks like a good put entry here. I'm just not convinced yet. I have low confidence in this setup at the moment, so I'm gonna be a little more conservative at the time. If I see a breakdown, I'll jump in quick. I've got my finger right on the button, so I'm ready at a moment's notice. I want to wait for confirmation here. SPY doing its thing. XLF is dipping hard, but Qs are starting to support it now, so they're kind of a little flip-floppy here. But financial sector is dipping. SPY is doing that thing again where it pops out the range, the top of the morning range. Do I announce the earnings and loss at the end of our streaming? I mean, not officially, I guess. I mean, I announce all my plays and I post them all in the Discord, but I don't do like an official profit announcement. No. Yep. On the 3-minute chart here, definitely looking bullish. SPY just doesn't want to stop. 5-minute chart here, absolutely beasting. Very, very bullish on the Qs and the XLK. VIX, very, very bearish, which is a bullish indicator. So down here at the bottom of the range from yesterday's 1551, we're almost there. And back down to approaching session or like monthly lows for the SP for the VIX. Wow. Absolutely going crazy. All right, so when you pop above the range like this, you want to look for confirmation. You don't want to buy here yet because we don't know if this is going to reject and come down. What I want to see is a follow-on candle to confirm a trend day because it's not confirmed trend day yet. What I want to see is this thing pop off the range and confirm upwards. Do I wish I got that 428 call earlier? I mean, no. Yeah, sure. I do wish I got it, but you can't think in hindsight. I mean, if I had hindsight, I would, I play the charts in front of me. That's all. And right now I'm just waiting for things to shake out. Sometimes things are a little clear, sometimes not. And this low volume stuff we've had the past 3 days, like I've been grinding out small wins. So looking at the VP here. So, since we are so extended up here, I can't look at long-term time frames because there is no time frame for these. It's a daily. So I'm looking at where the price wants to start consolidating at these new levels. Right now, there's no volume here. So like, it's just puttering about. It's just puttering along, puttering along, puttering along. And I'm waiting for the price to consolidate to form these little nodes. Right now, we've got a node down here at 425 from yesterday, and we're above that. I'll be using that as support right now. We'll see where the price rejects. That's right. That's right. I've had a lot of small wins this week. Like I'm not interested in I don't want to shoot for small wins. I'll take a small win, but I want to shoot to give me the best setup to give me the 15 to 20% win. If I have to take a small win, cool. But I don't want to shoot. It's kind of like aim for your target. My target is a 15 to 20% win. So I want to give me the best setup for that. And then if it doesn't work out, I can still take a 3 to 5% win. And that's always the goal. So I'm waiting for the best setup. And right now, it's barely moving. It's barely moving. XLF rocketed, carried SPY up, and now XLF is getting this bounce off their range. Now, I want to see if if tech is going to reject their ranges or not. Are they going to continue on beasting, which will push SPY to new highs? But right now, we're just kind of in this decision point. Oh yeah, much worse week than last week. Last week was killer, man. Last week was clear. There was enough volume to where the ranges were playing true. Like that's why it was the least stressful week I've had trading in months. It was just clear. This week is, it's just low volume chop here. You got to grind out wins. It's more of a grind this week. That's all. At least for me. Beautiful. 13 grand on Pokemon cards. That's fantastic. I still need to look at my Ricky Henderson rookie card. But yeah, awesome. 13 grand on Pokemon card. That's fantastic. Yeah, invest it, baby. Extrapolate those gains. Aim small, miss small. That's right, Rice Features. That's right. VIX is increasing. Qs and XLK are near the top of their range. XLF has still got a little red. I've got about another 30 minutes and I have to get off here. I have, like I said, I've got that appointment I got to hit up the last late morning, so I got to have to hop here soon, but still get some good trading in. You're good, Carmine. You're good. We'll get you. It's part of trading. It's part of trading. You all need to learn. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. It's not 50,000% gains that all the YouTubers tell you. This is the real trading. This is real life. It's not as glamorous and fun and happy as everyone makes it out to be. It's not Wolf of Wall Street. I was fully ready in December 2020. I was fully ready to put all my money into real estate and get out of the day trading and only have long-term accounts. It is, Chris. It is. It is in mint condition because it's been box kept its entire 30 years of existence, 35 years of existence. Well, I guess, was that 41 years now. But I don't know if it's like graded to where like everything is cut properly and like the printing part of it. I don't know if that's mint, but in terms of condition, it's in mint condition. I've never had it graded, so I couldn't tell you like the centering and the print and the cut is all exact. All right, so Q is near the top of the range. XLK is there. XLF, there. VIX has got a little red. Bonds are off. All right, I'm back. So I had to step away for a sec. Yeah, so a little red there. Interesting movement. Q's dipping, XLF is flat, K's dipping again. So K's and Q's are rejecting what, the upper half of their range. VIX is still down. PSA 10, 100 grand. Jeez Louise. Yeah, squeeze momentum is at the bottom of the indicator. All right, so 3 minute here. Here's the 5. Currently right there at the top of the range. Yep, it's always mean reversion. If we drop back into this range, if we fall back into this range, trend days don't do that. So 3 and 5 minute, Andy. 3 and 5 minute. I go back and forth between the 3 and the 5. So coming right here, right off the top of the range, we all know it's 426.10. I'm waiting to see what the screen candle is. If we fall back into this range, that's called our mean reversion. We're coming back into this mean price, which is right in this range here. So VIX appears to be consolidating around yesterday's range. We popped out of it, came back down. We're consolidating right here at the yesterday's lows. With IV so low, is it go for higher delta, especially with multiple contracts for the delta? Does a delta compound? Compounding? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, when IV is this low, yeah, you want to go something a little more aggressive here. Like even what like someone just posted in the room, they just bought a put. SPY dropped 20 cents and the puts didn't even move. So, yeah. No problem, Zach. All right, XLF is falling a little bit. XQs is still staying trading with this green. And SPY is there. Almost back into the range. I think we actually did do it. Nope, not yet. No, wait a minute. We did. Hold on. 426.10. We pushed that up to 426.20 right at the last second. Okay. So we are back in the range. All right. I've been looking at that wrong. All right, we are back in the range here. which is not good for trend days. Oh man, I'm picking a good day. It seems to head off for the afternoon because this is just garbage. It's garbage. All right, VIX looks like it wants to get a bounce. XLF kind of doing this little downtrend here. Q's there, XLK's there. So it's like, what's gonna happen? Can you explain what you mean by trend days? Yeah. Stand by. I'll show you a trend day. I want to show you a good trend day. I guess this is considered a good trend day. No, yesterday was a range day. Let's see here. All right. This is June 22nd. This was a trend day. See, this was the morning range because I set them at 905, which 905 was here. That was the highest price, lowest price of 905. All right, so look what happened. This is a trend day. This is your ranges, the yellow lines. And this is where the price fluctuates in the range, pops above, and boom, it stays above. This is a trend day. So here, what I'm looking for, you see the price open, the price opens, the market opens, comes up, comes down, bounce, forms the ranges, comes up, tests the range, fails, comes up, tests the range, kind of fails, but then starts increasing, recoups it, now pops above it. You got your green candle. This is what I mean. You don't want to buy the first pop above the trend right here. See, right here, you popped above it. You don't want to buy calls here. You want to wait for confirmation. You get another one, which gets wicked out, bought up. You get another one, finally stays above with a follow-on candle. What I would want to do is buy one of these candles because that tells me that we're in an upward trend on the upside. Now, I'm also looking at squeeze momentum. See, the squeeze momentum right here is going to show me a buy signal at 933, which is on this candle. So always wait for follow-on to come above. Also, it takes into account the rest of the market. You want to look at the rest of the market as well. So this is the trend day. It pops above the range and stays up. And then it consolidates for about an hour or a couple hours. And then, boom, it does it again. So this is what I mean. Range day, like yesterday, it played the range beautifully. Came up here, popped above, failed back in there. Popped below, came back in. Just played the ranges beautifully. Afternoon, it did the same. Came up, tinkered up right above the top of the range, failed back down to the range. So it sticks to this mean reversion. Hope that helps. Not if it breaks it, it has to confirm above it. Because like I see here, yesterday it broke above the ranges, but it puttered and fell back down into the range. That's why you have to wait for confirmation. See how here you never actually got confirmation that it was going up. It just stayed up and fluttered about. Whereas here you had a big follow-on green candle to bring it up above, and then the volume took it away. You'd want to buy one of these candles. The squeeze momentum gave us an indication here. Whereas if you look here at this pop, we didn't get a squeeze momentum indication, no green cross or no gray cross. So, and on the downside, if it popped below it for a trend down right here, look, we didn't get a squeeze momentum indication here. We actually got the opposite. It turned black here. So that's why you always want to use your other indicators, not just one or the other. All right, 10 more minutes and I have to sign off here, unfortunately. Nope, I'm still here, Bullberry Rider. Picked up the book. Yeah, please read it. I promise you, it's a fantastic book. I promise you. No problem, Andy. Thanks for being here. I love all the questions, so keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. I want to help as many people as I can, man. And yeah, so if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. There's a lot of cool information there too. SPY, the exchange room, is starting to get a little crazy, but it's a great place to learn. It's a great place to learn. All right. VIX still trading inside of their range here. QQQ is on the downtrend. XLK is the same. XLF is trading flat right here. SPY is finally getting a dip here. Finally getting a dip. All right, so 3-minute chart. The 8 and 21 is starting to converge. We're hitting the 34. If we break down below this, because the squeeze momentum is cooling off, 34 is usually a pretty strong indicator. If we can pop through that, let's check at the 5. I want to really confirm on the 5. So we're not there. I'd wait for the crossover on the 5. God, things are I mean, things look like a put setup, but this low volume stuff, man. Even the premiums are barely moving. All right, there's a 5-minute chart here. Definitely black crossed here on the squeeze Momo and the 5-minute downtrending. Haven't had a green cross since 8:50 my time, 9:50 Eastern, which is about an hour from now, hour ago. 5-minute chart right here on the 34 EMA. VIX uptrending. Qs right there, XLK. I'm not going to take a put position there, especially with me just having to leave. But it's looking more and more bearish. We'll see. I know I'm watching them, Nick. I'm watching the premiums. They haven't budged. They haven't budged. So, do you have a tutorial for the actual buying of options? I don't understand the reason for buying a stays out complete. You know, that is a video I want to make, and like an overall options trading video, not just necessarily my system, but just broad options trading. I don't have one. That'll be the next one I make. Book name, please. Volume price analysis. I have not, Michael. I have not. Any thoughts on SPY? It's right below the 34, so it's looking bearish. Like we've already fallen back into the recession range, which is it's a range indicator, not a trend. And I'm just monitoring the rest of the market now to develop a time frame here, a sentiment of what's going to happen. VIX is glued to this range. As long as it stays here, we're not going to have much movement. And with implied volatility being so low on the premiums are barely fluctuating. It's a high risk environment right now in terms of making money. Because if I were to, there's people that bought puts up here and they barely made any money. It barely moved on this downward move, which means you're taking on more risk than it's worth. So it's like, there's no incentive to play much today unless I get to see a hot setup. This is a good day to see out. All right, that is 10 o'clock for me, unfortunately. I do have to get off here. Cutting the day a little bit short, but I got an appointment I have to head to. So I will still be monitoring the Discord in and out. I don't anticipate too much as long as this volume continues on the downtrend here. We'll see what happens, though. Either way, I will be monitoring the Discord today. Please at me if you have any questions. I love the conversation. I love the questions. I love teaching. So keep hitting me up. DM me if you have any more questions you want me to directly answer, or you can at me at any of the channels in the Discord. Yes, please like the video if you are new. Subscribe to the channel so you can continue to getting notifications for educational content as well as the live streams that come out. If you're new, also please head over and join the Discord. Let me know also, for those who are subscribed to the Patreon, let me know what you think of episode 4 of the Making Millionaires podcast. We're all taking ideas as well. We we want to have questions answered for the people. So anybody who has questions answered, we'll put those in the podcast as well. So anyway, thank you all very much for being here. We'll be back on Monday with another live stream starting Monday morning at the market open. So that's really all I got. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day. Be safe. Don't feel like you have to make a trade, especially in crap movement like this. The premiums aren't working in your favor. So it's a good day to chill out. Take an emotional day off. It's good. Anyway, don't force a trade. Don't be emotional. Make money. Be smart. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm out of here. See ya.